As we hold the light of love for the gathering of our daily service, we say thank you, Mahalo Keakua, for the blessings of this day. As we get ready to share this light of love of Kailua Kona to the world, we say Mahalo Keakua, thank you. And so it is. Keakua, Aku mau mau, Aku mau mau pa. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, ka iki mai luna mai, ona me huna no, awe mele. Oh my, oh my. ka iki mai luna mai. Ona mea huna no, awe mele e ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai. O mai ka iki mai luna mai. Ona mea huna no, awe mele Hele hoi o kala o mauka o kona, hele hoi o makai, wherever you come from. Kakaiaka e komamai. Good morning and welcome as we join together, Unity of Kona, beautiful Kailua Kona, Hawaii. What an honor it is to be able to share the Hawaiian culture here through the Unity as the Aomai prayer chant, as this is beseeching of the Great Spirit and our ancestors within that dwell with the Great Spirit. As we seek the stories and the answers, and through the stories comes the knowledge, and beseeching the Great Spirit for the wisdom of these stories, so we never have to repeat them over and over again. So as a fitting prayer chant, we welcome you all to Kailua Kona and Aloha, the base and root of the whole belief system. And as we get started with today's service, we'd like to please ask everybody to stand as we get together to do our affirmation, vision, and mission statements. Affirmation for the month: celebrate freedom together. I celebrate my inner freedom and express my divine essence now, and so it is. And here at Unity, we come together with a vision, a world family of oneness, peace, and love, with our mission to inspire spiritual growth and service through the active practice of love, prayer, faith, joy, and honoring everyone as a child of God. And so it is. And as we're all standing, let's we get together and do our opening song, and we'll have our singers coming on board as we got the new song coming on. Share the dream. I've given away all my lyrics.
Vince will share.
Okay.
He has two.
New song. Let's share the dream.
Where I learned to run. The race is long, but it can be won. With every step we're taking, with every choice we're making, with everything in the road, we get stronger. We can reach up, we can reach out, we can show this world what we're all about. We can do anything we put our minds to. We can be anything we wanna be. We must believe we can share the dream. Where I used to play, but I found my wings. I can fly away. Below the street lights fading, ahead is my future waiting. Beyond the doubt and fear, I can see it. We can reach up, we can reach out, we can show this world what we're all about. We can do anything we put our minds to. We can be anything we wanna be. We must believe we can share the dream. We can share the dream. We can share the dream.
Oh yes we can.
We can share the dream. We can share the dream.
Yes, we can.
We can share the dream. We can share the dream.
What can we do?
We can share the dream. We can share the dream.
Yes, we can.
We share the dream. We can share the dream.
Whoa!
We share the dream. We can share the dream.
Yes, we can.
We can share the dream. We can share the dream.
Yes, we can.
We can share the dream. We can share the dream. We can reach up. We can reach out. We can show this world what we're all about. We can do anything we put our minds to. We can be anything we wanna be. We can reach up. We can reach out. We can show this world what we're all about. We can do anything we put our minds to. We can be anything we wanna be. We must believe. We can share the dream. We can reach up.
Woohoo! While we're all standing, let's take a moment and greet one another, as it's been a week since we've seen you. So we're going to kind of take a few moments as we say hi and welcome this gathering. Beautiful Sunday morning. And if you're joining us online, please leave a comment in the comment section of the Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch. And we'd like to formally greet everybody. And give us just a moment, and we'll do that. Yes. We're having such a good time this morning. Take me a moment to get everybody's attention. It's all good, though. Welcome back, everybody. And if you're joining us new here for the first time, or maybe it's been a while since you've been here to the Unity, we'd like to ask you to please stand now and share your name and where you're from, as we can formally greet people. So how about it? We got some new people in the sanctuary. There she is. Hi. Caroline. Krona. Well, welcome, Caroline. The doors are always open. We got lots of things. Join us for some snacks after service, too. And so if you're joining us online or new here, let's all appreciate this with a great big aloha, and God bless you. And so it is. And so now is the time in our service where we'll do our daily word. So I've asked Greg to come up and do this for us today. So give him a big round, my friends. Thank you, Greg. Yeah.
Okay, today's daily word is power. I look within and discover my power. Great power lies within me, like a treasure chest full of gold and precious jewels, buried in my own backyard. It is so close that I sometimes overlook it, leading me to search near and far, seeking strength and value outside of myself. Yet my power is in my potential, a gift for me to discover. I am endowed with wisdom, love, and creativity, gemstones meant to be uncovered and shared with the world. I am rich in my capacity to use these gifts to reach goals and create my life with intentionality. As I think, speak, and behave in accordance with my divine abilities, I share my treasures. I bring into the light the hidden parts of myself, knowing my power comes from expressing my best self. For we are what He has made us, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand to be our way of life. Ephesians 2:10. Please join me in saying the statement here. I look within and discover my power.
And so it is. Thank you, Greg. Thank you so much for doing that for us. And wow, it really embrace the power within. And this is where it all comes from. Let's take this moment and visualize the power within. So as you get comfortable in your seats, find this space for your breath. And as we gently get comfortable where we are, visualizing the sanctuary, visualize the sanctuary of your soul. See this as a beautiful heart. And as you start to feel the loving energy of those around you, feel it flowing in and through you. See that loving energy flowing around every person, every being on this earth and in this world, expanding your light. And if there's any events in your or circumstances in your life in need of prayer, let's bring them now into this space, this place, this most beautiful, loving heart. As we'll come together with eyes open to do our prayer for protection. For the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Mahalo ke kua. Thank you, God. And so it is. And now we have some soft, nice music coming from Dondi. And so please welcome Dondi, his time and talent and treasures, and his ukulele player.
Aloha, everyone.
Aloha.
Just happens to be my song. Aloha is.
Ah.
Aloha is a promise. The sun will shine again, bringing fresh hopes and dreams. With each new day that begins, aloha is the sunlight shining through the darkness, giving strength to all we do. Aloha is His grace, walking in the sunlight, feeling the beauty of life, feeling the beauty of life. Aloha is His helping hand, warm and comforting voice,
Aloha is Hawaii. Hawaii is aloha. Hawaii is aloha. Oi. I love you. Aloha, Hawaii. I love you.
Thank you, Gandhi. We love you too. So much aloha. What an honor it is to be here in Hawaii where they share it. I've been hitting the butt with a shopping cart since I got here. It's a whole different energy. Well, now it's time to introduce our speaker for today. It's Miss Kayla Harvey, and so she's here licensed medical health counselor and motivational speaker, and she does so much here for the church as a president of the board of directors and then writing these stories. She's got a lot going on in her life. So please give her a warm welcome. Kayla Harvey.
All right. Let's go into meditation for a moment. Let's take a moment to find a calm, centered space. Find a comfortable position and rest your body. Shut your eyes if that feels good to you. And relax into this space. Feel yourself sinking into place with your arms and legs hanging heavy at your side. Begin to visualize yourself standing on the shore of a beautiful beach. Feel the warmth of the sand beneath your toes and the gentle breeze on your skin. In front of you is a vast ocean, stretching as far as the eye can see. Notice the waves rise and fall. Rise and fall. With the ebb and flow. Each wave is unique and distinct, yet interconnected with the whole. A wave rises, distinguishing itself for a moment, then merges back with the greater whole. Shift your awareness now to the horizon, where the sky meets the water. The farther you look, the more it blends. We recognize no separation truly exists between ocean and sky, us and the whole. There is one unified whole. You are like a wave in the ocean, distinct yet intimately connected to all that is. Take a moment in this space to reflect on your unique presence, how your wave adds to the beauty of the majestic ocean of life. Your thoughts, your actions and interactions ripple out into the collective conscious. See yourself as this wave coming back home, connecting again with everyone and everything. Rest in this feeling of oneness and love. Breathe in this profound truth. Remember, you are a unique expression of the vast ocean of existence, interconnected with all beings. Embrace this peaceful oneness and let it guide your thoughts, words, and actions today and moving forward. Gradually bring your awareness back to your breath, feeling the rise and fall of each inhalation and exhalation. Recognizing the presence of your unique body in this chair, coming back to the room. You can wiggle your fingers and toes, coming back to the space, gently opening your eyes when you're ready, bringing back with you this sense of oneness as we continue our day. As the ocean continues to usher us in. The ocean of all that is never stops. It's always present. We can always find it. Well, welcome back as we rejoin together, hopefully more whole, collected, and connected. This month, we're talking about spiritual freedom in all its forms and what that means for our spirit to be free. In thinking of what I'm guided to share today, I started reflecting on where we don't have freedom. Where is there a lack of that? Where is there still slavery and bondage? Thought of poverty, persecution and tyranny. These things still exist for many in the world. And yet, thinking about most of the world, most of us, there is still a lack of freedom, and we may not be experiencing any of those particular things. So what is it? What is it that keeps us from feeling free? That keeps us feeling in bondage? And what came was a bondage in the mind. Because our true freedom lies in unlocking and being present in our mind. And we all have this power. We've talked about this through books like Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. A person who found freedom, meaning, and peace amongst horrible situations in a concentration camp, in the worst of situations. But he found freedom even there. And it did not come outside of himself. It was a connective recollection inside. The problem is that a lot of us feel so separate. A lot of our suffering, the needless kind, can come from that attachment to a separate self. That I, Kayla, am somehow different than you. That I am completely alone and separate. Must fend for myself and find my own way. In this perspective, we can see other all around us. Everything else is an other, and something I either need to contend with, contend against, or survive through. Freedom comes when we shift this and see that we don't have to fight the other, that the other is us as well. This is the experience we talk about when we're sharing oneness. It's a zoomed out perspective, a seeing from a bird's eye view that we are all one. We're going to talk about this today, the pain of separation, individualness, the meaning of oneness, and how each of us can cultivate that feeling of oneness deep within for our own personal freedom as well as a collective freedom. So when we talk about a sense of separate self, we're talking largely about dualism, the us and them, that me that is very different from all of you, that you will not understand, the part of me that has desires and interpretations and a perspective that is all my own. That part has its ups and downs. It judges and criticizes, it categorizes and evaluates outcomes from that single lens. And although this part is necessary, we have to be in individual sense to find our path and a way. We separate to understand. And it's necessary for us to find survival for the sense of self that we have to continue. And yet, we're not meant to stay there. It's an experience. But there is something greater to tap into. Because when we're stuck solely in that individual self, seeing only from one lens, we often end up labeling things as good or bad, for or against us, someone as victim or persecutor. When reality is, it's all one big soup. We're all a part of the big, tasty soup of life. But we feel alone. Oftentimes in our separate self, we either elevate and have a grandiose sense of self, or we crash and we feel not good enough. There's something inherently wrong with us. We may even feel abandoned by God. It brings up sensations, difficult emotions, and limits our understanding of all that is. It can keep us stuck to be separate. And we hear this, it sounds good, but look around you. Physically, we see a bunch of separate selves, don't we? We see chairs. We see items. All of them appear to have very distinct boundaries, to be very separate indeed. And yet, if we looked deeper, we would see an interconnected web that connects everything, that all of the molecules within are the same. We are all moving. We are all one. Even that which appears stationary is interwoven, interconnected, and moving with us in this soup. And this is the connection we want to feel. Though we are separate, we want to feel the connection to this joy sign, to the plants, the sun, the ocean, each other. And in trying to find a way to describe this oneness that there is, that we can't see, I was looking for a symbol, an image to use for my talk that could demonstrate oneness. As an abstract concept, it's a little hard to find, but I did find something on the web really intriguing. Oh, well, this is a lovely picture as well. This is what we want to feel. This is exciting. That feels good. But this is what I found. This is actually a symbol created in an open source project by a group called Radical Course. And they made this symbol to represent oneness. Let me read what they wrote on their website. It says, "The symbol is presented as a metaphor for us and the earth. It's one big organism, and we are an inseparable part of it. The earth is also part of an even bigger organism. It's like a tree with many roots that extend to the vast cosmos. We can also look at it and interpret it as a symbol for universal consciousness, a special experience that all of us share, a metaphor for the holistic mind and collective intelligence. The purpose of this symbol is to visually explain the idea of oneness and to spread the message of this universal truth. I think it's awesome. And they showed images below of people getting tattoos, people putting it on things. This is the great part. This symbol is free source. It's free use. It was created for the world. You're encouraged to find and use this symbol if it resonates with you as a way to share, to talk about, to inspire more oneness. So I encourage you to look it up. It doesn't come with the background, it's just the image, but I thought the color was nice for today. But I encourage you to find this. I thought visually it resonated with me. But there is something true here, and they describe it as the truth, the tenets of truth in the universe. And what's interesting is we do find this idea of oneness as the tenet of most major religions. In fact, almost all of them have an aspect of this concept of oneness. In Hinduism, they have a text called the Upanishad, and they talk about a concept that's called Tatram Asi. Yes, I looked up the pronunciation of all these things. I'm working on it. But it means thou art that. That you are this divine essence and the substance of all that is, and emphasizes our inherent unity in that. In Buddhism, the Buddha taught anatta, or absence of separate self. It invites us to recognize that the boundaries between self and others are illusory. They're not real. And in fact, author, teacher, and Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh, which many of you have heard of, father of mindfulness, he has been quoted saying, "We are here to awaken from the illusion of separateness." We are here to awaken from the illusion of separateness. In Islam, the Quran reminds us that all creation, every part, every being, originates from one source. And Muslims are encouraged to cultivate that unity with themselves and with others. And we find even in Christianity that there are sources of this. In 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 12, Paul states, "For just as the body is one, and yet has many parts, and all the parts of the body, though they are many, are one body, so also is Christ." And I think what he's saying here is that we are all interconnected as the body of Christ consciousness. All of us are interconnected in that unity consciousness. That was a yes, yes, yes. Ding, ding. We are all connected in that. And we can even see this in unity principles. You know, in unity, we don't have that many specific doctrines. We don't have rules or regulations. We have 5 really basic principles. And the first 2 explain this really well. The first one is, there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. God the good, or the positive essence and energy of all that is. One power and one presence. In all of the universe. One. And the second one states that our essence is of God. Meaning our essence is of that same one presence. That same one positive, loving energy. So though we do not profess many things strongly in unity, and we allow everyone to find their path, we love all things that point towards home. And everyone has their unique exploration of this. What we do know is there is one energy, one positive source, one of all that is, and we are of that one. Those are our core tenets of truth. In fact, what I found pretty cool is there is a Greek philosopher, pre-Socratic, so this is probably 500 years pre-Christ, right? And he was named, let me read this again. Empedocles, I believe. I'm like, I had this down. Empedocles. Okay, so he writes, and what he decided about God, again, 500 years before Jesus, he says, the nature of God is a circle, of which the center is everywhere, and the circumference is nowhere. The center is everywhere, and the circumference is nowhere. That means that everywhere and in everything in that center is God, is spirit, is divine energy and essence in everything, everywhere. In this right here. In this right here. In this right here is the center. I loved that. How inspirational from how long ago. There is no bounds. Everywhere we go, in everything, spirit is, energy is, divine spark, essence is. This can be confusing though, when we look around and we say, I don't know that this is God. Are you for real? I see a bunch of separateness. That's what I'm viewing. However, it can help us to kind of look at and dispel that separate self. Is this really me? If there is really separateness, am I really this? Is that what I'm saying? Well, one really great way I found to dispel separateness is find some amazing reading, and our buddy Larry Sire, who is our musician in ways. He also does a lot of our tech. Awesome guy, lived here for many years, lives in Texas now. He wrote this amazing book. Really fun and really playful. And it's titled, There Is Only One of Us Here, and It Isn't You. It's a really light-hearted look and a journey, exploration of what is self. And through this guided discovery conversation, it's a really fun way to see that there is no localization to consciousness. That our essence is not localized in our body, our thoughts, our sensations, which leads to even bigger questions then. So wait a minute, who is here if it's not me? And where am I? Who am I? What am I? That's a great start. Because when we can find that I am not my body, I am not just my thoughts, I am something greater. Maybe everything else is something greater too. Because we cannot separate a wave from the ocean. Just like we cannot separate ourselves from source, or even from one another. Because when we are closed to seeing the full ocean, and when we just see the waves, it can be pretty intense. Anyone ever been in the ocean when it kind of churned up and waves got really high and you just kind of get tumbled in the whole thing? It's kind of what we're doing as separate selves, getting tossed around in the waves. Our focus is on ourselves and maintaining our stability. And while that's necessary at times, please find your way out of the waves. But when we can sit back and see the full majesty of the ocean of all that is, There's something beautiful there. And when we can do that, we're not hurting ourselves. If you're in that tumble wave, you can get water up your nose, sand in every bit. One time I ran into another person in a tumble wave. Pretty sure I either cracked his nose or gave him a bloody nose or something, because he came out really upset and holding his face. And it was my head. We just tumbled into each other. And it kind of goes like this. If you're only focusing on you, you end up cutting off your nose to spite your face. Ever heard that phrase? Yeah. We end up being upset, doing something silly, and hurting ourselves. Like, I don't know, countries starting wars with their neighbors, injuring their own, or us carelessly extracting resources or neglecting Earth when we hurt our own environment. When we don't see the wholeness and we're not in tune, we're disconnected and distant, and it can be painful. We may not see this right away, but we can feel it. In fact, I saw a reel on social media that I liked, and it said, when two people are angry at one another, do you know why they shout? It's funny because they're usually sitting relatively close to one another, but their voices raise and they're yelling. Well, one ancient Sufi said, their hearts are so far apart. They are so far apart, they need to shout to fill the difference. They shout to fill that distance between one another. Yet the same can be true the other way around. When we are so close, sometimes we don't even need to use words. We can feel the person. We can bridge these gaps between us, bridge that distance between us and anyone and anything by finding that oneness, our unity between each other. In fact, we are all placed here to be divine channels, to be interconnected links, like Legos, to connect with one another, perfectly fitting. We all have interconnected bits, openness, receiving, and giving. There's a cute little story that demonstrates this connection in the way we serve others. It's about a little boy. A little boy who wanted a bike for his birthday. He wanted it so bad. However, he had overheard his parents talking about some financial challenges. He wasn't super stoked, but he was still hopeful and determined to get this bike. So his dad tucked him in for bed, and he did his prayers in the evening like he usually does. However, this time he did it with an extremely loud voice. His father could hear him in the other room saying, "God, I really want a blue bike from Walmart." And his grandparents were visiting. So his dad came in and said, "Son, you don't have to speak so loudly. God's not deaf." And the little boy said, "I know, but Grandpa is." Right? Now, there is so much wisdom in this little child who knows that Spirit often meets our needs through other people. That we are the eyes, the ears, the hands, the voice of Spirit here. We are the ones that connect each other, help each other. Unity and oneness is possible when we acknowledge that Spirit is working through us at all times, in everything that we do. Yes, everything. We become the messengers. We are the helpers. We are the partners in growth and in healing for every one of each other. Now, we can see this when there are good things happening. You know, you ever get those synchronicities? I just asked for that, and it showed up. or when we get that divine timing or perfect opportunity. It's made for me. Oh, the universe is listening. We feel that, right? We even get these senses sometimes for those of us who, like myself, I'm a bit empathic, so I can feel a feeling or sense from other person, and I know I'm connected to you. Or if you have another sense and can tap into that field of consciousness and get a knowing from another. Or I don't know if any of you have been stopped on the street or wherever and somebody says, I just felt like I had to tell you something. And they say something profoundly appropriate for your life that other people would not understand, that was a direct message to you from a stranger. In those moments, it's like, wow, we are so connected. This is incredible. I feel the oneness. I feel the divine everywhere. It's harder to do that in difficult times. In times where I don't like something. I didn't want that. That's not how I wanted it to go. That didn't feel good. It's hard for us sometimes to embrace that oneness when we're hurting, confused, distraught, and distressed. Because again, that separate self said, I had an idea about how that was supposed to be. Anyone else have those? Yeah, I find I have those quite a bit. Yeah, and it's hard in those moments to remind yourself, oh, that probably had its own reason. Okay, there's another connection there. That's for some purpose. That has some other thing I didn't understand. But what if we could? What if we did, even in those hard moments, recognize, wow, okay, it wasn't as I expected, but there must be something here. I'm going to trust the oneness in that. Know that there is a reason something happened, even if I don't understand. And remember that we are always being supported. We use this term, things are happening for our greatest and highest good, we say. So easy to say when everything's going well. What if we could feel that everything was happening for our greatest and highest good, even when we're in the muck, when we're in a rut, when the car breaks down, when somebody's angry, when we mess something up? What if we could find it there? What would that mean for us? Well, something pretty cool. Just recently, a few months ago, the American Psychological Association published an article, and it was about research being done on oneness and the effects of the mindset of oneness. And do you know what they found? They found that people who believe in oneness as a philosophy and a life concept, not in one moment, but a pervasive thought that yes, we are all interconnected. Yes, we are one. Yes, we do affect each other importantly, and there is greater, deeper meaning. Those people have a greater life satisfaction than people who do not. I don't know about you, but that tells me happiness. Happiness. Greater life satisfaction. They're happier about their lives. And you know what was also cool about this? It was irrespective of religion or not being involved in a religion at all. It wasn't about that. It's not about how you get there. It's about connecting and getting there. It doesn't matter what form you take to believe that. It doesn't matter the basis for that for you. If you feel into the connection, you know who you are, you can feel the interconnected oneness, you might just have some more of that. I think we all want more of that. That's pretty beautiful. There is something special here, and I think Einstein highlights it well. There are a lot of pretty cool Einstein quotes, and I found this one has been misquoted a lot, and I found an article talking all about it. So I did kind of a deep dive, and what I found was the original German quote, and then an amazing translation. And it was even better than the one I had found first. And it goes like this. A human being is a spatially and temporally limited piece of the whole, and what we call the universe. He experiences himself and his feelings as separate from the rest, an optical illusion of consciousness. The quest for liberation from bondage, or this illusion, is the only true object of real religion. Not nurturing the illusion, but overcoming it gives us attainable measures of inner peace. For a science guy, that's pretty good, yeah? Right? That this should be our pursuit. That this will bring us peace. In searching for more stories and ideas of how to convey oneness, I found a really cool podcast. It's called the Oneness Junkie Podcast. And it's this beautiful woman here created and does this podcast. Pretty cool, free on all those regular podcast apps. And she is actually a Unity person. I didn't know this when I found the podcast. Pretty cool. And one episode I listened to, she was interviewing a Unity minister. And it sounded like they had a connection, and she had known him. And this Unity minister is now retired, but Reverend Howard Caesar, he was the 34 years the senior minister in Unity of Houston. Pretty cool. And oneness was one of his big things. And he wanted everyone to feel the way he felt. And he has a new book. I haven't read it because I just heard the podcast, but I'm intrigued. It's called 1 + 1 is 1. Making oneness a way of life. And he was recounting stories of his experiences of oneness and how important it is to him, how it's always been a course of interest, and how he started attending a oneness school in India. Once a year, he would go and take a class or two and immerse himself in meditation and studies. And after several years, he was invited to be initiated closer into that group, and they gave him a special experience. It was a sensory deprivation experience that lasted several days. They told him that in this space, he would find an even deeper sense of oneness. And he was in a pitch dark room where he did everything from sleep to eat to find his way to the bathroom in pure darkness and silence. They would open the door twice a day for water and once for food, and only through that crack could he tell maybe is it day? And in that time he spent speaking and praying, and he asked Spirit, please, when I feel this, make the feeling indistinguishable. Let me know that I'm feeling it. He just kept focusing on that. And he said, day 3, he had this sudden burst, this feeling and a wave of immense oneness, connectedness, and bliss. It was so profound, he thought something physical was happening to him. And it was a pervasive feeling that came on as a burst, not once, but twice. And he thought, wow, I don't know if I can even contain this. And then he remembered, oh, right, because I asked it to be indistinguishable. It is very clearly indistinguishable. It was so profound it stayed with him. And for weeks he had the same sort of feeling, almost as a high, walking around, feeling so connected. And over time it faded a bit, but the knowingness stayed. Now I would describe what he experienced as a peak experience. Right? Those moments when we feel Spirit, the universe, and everything at once, that intense bodily experience. But you don't have to have that to feel oneness. Oneness is about getting out of our own way and getting out of our own mind. Getting back into our heart space. Center of connection. because the mind likes to run the show. But the mind creates problems, stories, and holds us to those stories as if they're still happening. The heart can create from a very different space. So to cultivate oneness, we expand our awareness. We have to do so by expanding it beyond the bounds of self-interest. We embrace our differences and celebrate our shared humanity by feeling it here. Oneness is not felt in the mind. It can't be conceived of on just a conceptual level. It has to be felt here. We can do this through meditation, prayer, contemplation, any form of mindfulness, like watching the ocean. Helps us get out of our own way. Helps us see and observe our mind as just a part of us. And if we can observe it, there's something more. If you can hear your thoughts, they are not you. There is something bigger here, knowing that we're a part of that. So part of this is also increasing compassion and empathy for one another, to see and feel the experiences of others, watching documentaries of what others experience in their lives, to see their pain and sadness, their interconnectedness, their complexities, their humanness. Use those mirror neurons to resonate and say, that pain in you, I know that pain. That upset in you, I feel that upset. That joy in you, that love in you, I feel that. I have that. We are the same. It's finding that humanness and finding ways to serve, to be that channel, that connector. Because even the smallest acts of love and kindness make ripple effects throughout our world and our collective conscious. True freedom comes in recognizing and seeing all beings as divine. We no longer see them as enemy or other, but part of us. No longer at war with one another. We become no longer at war with ourselves. We are free when we don't identify with just this small version of me, and instead see ourselves as one part of a greater collective, a beautiful, vast ocean. And when we do so, we're finally able to create from this space, interwoven, creating together with love and openness. Thank you.
Thank you, Kayla. And with oneness, we gather together here every Sunday with to make a great giant wave, and we spread it out to the world. And now we take this gifts and offerings in our hands as we say Mahalo Kea Kua. Thank you so much, Kayla, for your service. As we get ready to do our prayer for the offertory prayer, hold your gifts in your hands, and we'll do this together. For divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am abundantly prosperous in every way, and so it is. Our ushers will come forward now and pick up the offerings, and we'll have a little more music with Dondi. Thank you, my friend Dondi. Yes.
When I have the choir.
We're going to have some singers coming out up there. All right. It's a wonderful world.
And it is. If you know the song, by all means sing along with us. It's called Wonderful Words of Life.
Give. I love that song. As our ushers are coming forward, it's now time to bless these gifts and offerings. And so, through Spirit, we know that as we give, so shall we receive. We dedicate and consecrate these gifts to do your will and your work in this center, in our lives, and in our community. And so it is. Thank you, ushers. And as we get into a few of our announcements for today's service, we have first and foremost a prayer ministry. So we have the new app for the prayer ministry, and that would be the, there it is, Be Unity. So take the new Be Unity app and download that on your phones, and you can get instant connection to prayer, affirmations, meditations, so many ways to share the power of prayer. And that wave that we create when two or more are gathered can change the world. And so it's like single waves gets a little tossed and turned, but let's get together and make it all big flow. And so in that, we have the team member of the month, Joan Collady. And so thank you, Joan. And loving service and devotion to Spiritual Center. I've seen her up here doing the daily word, and she hangs out when she comes to visit us here in Kailua. And so, well, wherever you are, Joan, we sure are shining light to everyone in your presence. And we're grateful to have you part of our Unity of Kona Ohana. And so with your willingness to serve, we said our big aloha, and we love you. Thank you so much. We have something new going on, and Dondi is involved. So we are excited to announce that Dondi will host a community drop-in ukulele group collaborative. It's a Kaniopika, yeah, something like Kaniopika style jam session. So it's when everybody gets together. And so yeah, I'm sorry if I butchered that.
It's okay.
I should put my glasses back on. Anyway, it's for beginners and experts, and so it will be happening on the second and fourth Monday, starting Monday, July 10th at 6 till 7 o'clock, right here in the sanctuary. So bring your oop, and some will be available for use if you don't have one. Come learn to play and share. So if you want any more information, talk to Donnie. Second and first Monday, starting right now, June 10th, 6 to 7. Unity of Kona is also hosting another movie night Friday, July 14th. So here we are. Did we have a good turnout on the last movie night, did we guys? It was pretty cool. We got to show the movie. We're working on it. So come on, bring the kids. We got movie night happening July 14th. Doors will open at 6:30. Feature film Stranger Than Fiction. Ooh, that might be interesting. And it'll start at 6:45. Movie is free, however, we will be selling individual bags of popcorn and water. So no outside food or drinks will be allowed in the sanctuary, but bring the kids and join us for a movie night here in the sanctuary. We got the big screen TV, it should be a lot of fun. And just a reminder to join us for the evening of self-healing and meditation and discovery, hosted by Sean, this next Tuesday, the 18th. That's a week from, that's later, not this next Tuesday. So we're moving down the road here. So by the 18th of July, and so 6:30 to 7:30, we look forward to seeing people here as we do this healing guided meditation. Celebration of Life is now for Tom Metz. Will be Sunday, July 23rd at the Kona Elks Lodge from 3 till 5. There's a flyer upstairs that has the address on that. So thoughts and prayers for all involved with the passing of Tom, instrumental here in our church. So we sure send our love and light to him and the mahalo keakua and our ancestors that dwell there. So it is. Circulation Day is coming up Saturday, July 29th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. So please, there's already a room starting to fill up. So bring more stuff. And this is going to be free items gifted out to the community here. And so there's also going to be a bake sale. So we'll be making a little bit for the church with the bake sale. Sign-up sheet in the back of the sanctuary if you would like to participate in the bake sale. Or if you have any questions about the Circulation Day, see Kayla. And about the bake sale, see Elaine, who's off island right now, but she'll be back shortly. Definitely there's people that know what's going on. As you know, it takes a village to run the spiritual center, and so we appreciate everybody. Kindly consider sharing your time, treasures, and talents, as there are several sign-up sheets in the back that we would appreciate your cooperation with. And with that, let me go into next Sunday guest speaker, Reverend Sophia. Her topic will be breaking free from limiting patterns. Examine how our thoughts and beliefs and habits can become patterns that restrict our spiritual growth and potential. Music next week will be Dondi. And now in closing, I'll have everybody please stand, make a big circle in the sanctuary right behind the front row as we get ready to do our closing songs. Let there be peace on earth and aloha, boy.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
And as we rise from the ocean of life, make your individual wave be something precious to everyone you meet. And so it is. And so now we'll finish up with Aloha Boy.
Aloha Boy, Aloha Boy, Eke Ona Ona Loi Kalipo, one fond embrace, Ahoy Ariao, until we meet again.
Ahuiho, aloha. Thank you everybody for joining us. Don't forget there's snacks upstairs. Donnie's got a little closing music as we wrap it up. How about some more singing?